High above the Aegean Sea, a boy was falling from the heavens. Around him, white feathers scattered across the sky like snow. The wings that had carried him beyond every prison were breaking apart, piece by piece. Above him burned the sun, brilliant, merciless, and far too close. Below him waited the dark sea. His father called his name, but the wind swallowed every warning. The boy was Icarus, and only moments earlier he had believed he could fly among the gods. But Icarus had not begun his story in the sky. He had begun it as a prisoner. Icarus was the son of Daedalus, the greatest inventor in all of Greece. Daedalus could shape stone, wood, and metal with such skill that people said his creations almost seemed alive. Kings sought his genius, but genius had also made him dangerous. Now on the island of Crete, father and son lived beneath the watch of King Minos. Icarus had grown up surrounded by walls, guarded shores, and stories of a world he could not reach. To him, freedom was more than a distant dream. It was the open sea beyond the cliffs. It was the horizon stretching past Crete. And above all, it was the endless sky. But to understand why Icarus was trapped, we must first enter the creation that made his father famous: the labyrinth. Long before Icarus ever touched the sky, his father had created a prison. No man was meant to escape. King Minos of Crete had ordered Daedalus to build a vast maze beneath his palace, a twisting network of corridors, false passages, and hidden chambers. At its center lived the Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. The labyrinth was so complex that anyone who entered would lose all sense of direction. Its walls seemed to shift. Every path led deeper into darkness. But Daedalus knew its secrets. When the Athenian hero Theseus came to Crete, determined to kill the Minotaur, Daedalus helped Princess Ariadne devise a way for him to return. A simple thread would guide Theseus through the maze and lead him safely back to the entrance. The plan worked. The Minotaur was slain, and Theseus escaped. But King Minos soon discovered that his perfect prison had been defeated, and that Daedalus had helped make it possible. To punish the inventor, Minos imprisoned Daedalus and his son. The man who had designed the labyrinth was now trapped by his own creation, and Icarus was trapped with him. King Minos controlled every ship that left Crete. His soldiers watched the roads, guarded the harbors, and searched every vessel that crossed the sea. There was no escape by land. There was no escape by water. But as Daedalus watched birds pass above the prison walls, he realized there was one path Minos could not control: the sky. Day after day, Daedalus secretly gathered feathers that fell near their prison. He arranged them from smallest to largest, shaping them into the form of a bird's wing. He tied the larger feathers together with thread and fixed the smaller ones in place with beeswax. Slowly, two great pairs of wings began to take shape. Icarus watched in wonder as his father transformed scattered feathers into something no man had ever possessed. Not a weapon, not another prison, but a doorway into the heavens. For the first time since their captivity began, freedom no longer seemed impossible, and it was waiting just beyond the walls. When the wings were ready, Daedalus fastened one pair to his own arms and the other to Icarus. But before they left, he held his son by the shoulders and gave him one final warning. "Follow me closely. If you fly too low, the sea spray will soak the feathers and drag you down. If you fly too high, the sun will soften the wax and tear the wings apart. Stay between the sea and the sun. It was not a warning against flight. It was a warning against losing control. Icarus listened. At least Daedalus believed he did. Then his father stepped toward the edge, spread his wings, and leapt into the open sky. For one terrible moment, Icarus stood alone. Then he followed. At first, Icarus fought against the wind. The wings felt heavy on his arms, and the sea below seemed impossibly far away. But then the air caught beneath the feathers. He rose. For the first time in his life, there were no walls around him, no guards, no locked doors, only the open sky. Daedalus flew ahead, steady and careful, guiding his son away from Crete. Below them, fishermen abandoned their nets and shepherds stared upward in disbelief. To those watching from the earth, the two figures must have looked like gods. Icarus soon forgot his fear. Each movement became easier. Each beat of the wings carried him higher. He turned through the clouds, laughing as the sunlight struck his face. Behind him, Crete grew smaller. The prison that had once filled his entire world was now nothing more than a distant mark upon the sea. And in that moment, Icarus understood the intoxicating power of flight. His father saw a dangerous escape. Icarus saw a world without limits. He climbed a little higher, then higher still. Icarus fell from the sky. Around him, the last feathers drifted slowly toward the sea. He reached upward, but there was nothing left to carry him. Below, Daedalus heard his son's voice. He turned and searched the sky, calling his name. But all he could see were feathers scattered across the water. Icarus vanished beneath the waves. The sea where he fell would later be remembered as the Icarian Sea, and a nearby island would carry his name. Daedalus survived the journey, but freedom no longer felt like victory. The wings had worked. They had carried him beyond the prison of King Minos. But the invention that saved his life had also taken his son. And so the story of Icarus became more than a tale about a boy who ignored a warning. It became a warning about ambition without restraint. Daedalus understood the limits of flight. Icarus believed that once he had escaped the earth, no limit could still apply to him. But perhaps that is why his story has survived for so long. Icarus is remembered not only because he fell, but because for one brilliant moment he flew higher than any mortal dared. And in the end, the same sun that revealed his freedom also exposed its price. This is Librarium Mythica, where the ancient stories of gods, heroes, and legends live again. Like and subscribe for more.